lose, you'll be surprised, you may still have something inside you that doesn't belong there. People who are exercising all the time and they can't seem to lose those last 5 or 10 pounds, the reason why they can't get rid of it because it isn't fat. There's junk in the trunk. And I'm a perfect example because when I finally woke up after doing this the first 2 years on 6 different occasions, I finally said, John, why are you stopping on day 30 when you're still having things coming out of you? The 7th time I said, I'm going the distance. I don't care how long it takes. And it took me 90 days to get everything out of me. I had stuff coming out of me every day for 90 days. I couldn't believe it. And I had 20 pounds inside of me. 20 pounds. Now I have to qualify that because I was an athlete. I was eating 5,000 to 6,000 calories a day. I had to. I was exercising 7 to 8 hours a day. So I was abusing my digestive system a lot like someone who weighs 500 to 600 pounds. But I was burning off the calories. But still, it overtaxed my system. Our body is not designed to eat certain foods, and if we eat too much of it, it just takes a toll on our system. So weight loss is a tremendous benefit that we get from going on a long, extended, properly conducted juice feast. But as we lose this type of weight, we also see disease symptoms disappear. Well, what are disease symptoms? Well, that's nature's way of telling us we're making mistakes. Our brains are wired for this. It's part of our survival mechanism, pleasure and pain. So every one of our illnesses, even a headache, we should think of it as a warning light on the dashboard of our body. We've got warning lights on the dashboard of our car that tells us something's wrong. Well, every illness we have is nature's way of giving us feedback. It's our feedback system. And we need to heed this message from nature and realize we must be doing something wrong. We've got to change what we're doing. So a tremendous benefit from going on a long juice feast is most of your illnesses and even ill behaviors disappear. I'm always amazed when I coach a minister. After 3 or 4 days, they say, you know, I've noticed I'm not getting as angry with my congregation anymore. And I think to myself, well, what are you getting angry to begin with? Well, there's a reason. We have toxins inside of us and that irritates us. Diseases go through stages. The first symptom we see when we're full of toxins is irritation. No wonder we struggle so much and we're not as happy. I was just talking to a young lady that I talked to quite a few years ago, and she notices the same thing, that she's happy all the time, and her coworkers are wondering, well, why are you so happy? Well, it's hard to be happy when we're full of toxins. So one of the main things we'll do on a long juice feast is we'll flush out the waste matter that we accumulated in our pipes. And what that does is it drastically pulls the waste matter from every cell in our body, and I'll go into that in a little bit more detail. So on a personal level, this is amazing. But then, when we look at all of the problems we face as a society, there's a reason why we don't get along with one another. There's a reason why we go to war. There's a reason why we have all the problems. In fact, every problem we have, I like to think of it as a negative effect. And again, it's part of our feedback system. We need feedback from nature to let us know whether or not our environment is sustaining us, or whether or not we're interacting with our environment the right way. Our lifestyle choices, that's what really matters, is what are we eating, what are we thinking? Are we getting sunshine? Are we getting exercise? I go to Memorial Park at least once a day, sometimes twice a day, and I always tell this to every woman. I'm amazed. I've only found, out of the hundreds of women I've talked to, only 1 or 2 know this. How many women know that adequate vitamin D levels prevents 77% of cancer in all women?
B or D?
D.
Oh, sunshine.
A lot of people don't know that. Now, why isn't this on the news every day? Gosh almighty, this is the most powerful knowledge we have. And yet we're not spreading this information out like we should. The juice feast, if you've never done one before, I guarantee you it will be the most exciting and the most exhilarating experience of your entire life. I know because I've done this 903 days on 133 different occasions in the last 17 years. I do this once a year just to remind myself it's more fun than eating. I love eating, but I'm telling you, if you've never done this, you don't know what you're missing. And the best thing that the juice feast will do is it will give you a new reference that's going to blow the socks off of all these old references that make you think what you're doing is okay. How can we compete against all these old references? We've been brought up thinking colds are contagious. Now we got the swine flu epidemic. This is all poppycock. This isn't how it works. It's the condition of our body that determines whether or not We have war, crime, violence, heart disease, cancer, diabetes, even the swine flu. And it's what we eat that affects the condition of our body more than any other factor. And just about every system and protocol out there that's trying to solve our problems, they're trying to change the condition of our body, but they don't know how to do it the right way. Allopathic medicine, they're barking up the wrong tree. They teach our medical doctors the anatomy. Well, you don't need to study the anatomy for a lifestyle-related problem. And 90% of what doctors are doing are treating symptoms that are lifestyle-related. They have no business doing this. They're extremely qualified for accidents. When you get in an accident and you're bleeding to death, you want someone that knows the body and can control the symptoms. Otherwise, the solution for a lifestyle-related problem is to change your lifestyle. Make better choices. And because there's so much conflicting information out there, the Juice Feast is what's going to give you that new experience, that new reference that will help you understand that herbs really aren't the answer, homeopathy is not the answer, Ayurvedic medicine is not the answer, traditional Chinese medicine isn't the answer, allopathic medicine isn't the answer either. But it doesn't mean we can't use every one of those things as long as we take responsibility and we change what we're doing. In fact, I'm in total favor of using any protocol out there that can help the body return back to normal. Because when we make these changes and we see the changes in the condition of our body, we can't change the condition of our body overnight if we do it the right way. Now, allopathic medicine can give you a drug, and most drugs fall in the class of blockers and inhibitors, so they interfere with the communication process. The symptom goes away immediately. But it's like taking your car to a crooked auto mechanic and they cut the wires to the sending units. That's what drugs are doing. They're not letting the body communicate